Wings from Mr. Chubby's or tacos from Taco Lou? How about chocolate from Peterbrook? All you have to do is tell us more about you by filling out the 1010 listener survey at 1010XL.com. What kind of vehicle do you drive? Are you a business owner? What part of 1010XL do you like the most? We want to get to know you better so we can serve you better. Go to 1010XL.com, fill out the survey, and you could be a winner.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Zero Rest. Speaking with 1010XL, Chris Doring at SEC Media Days is high on new Florida coach John Sumrall.
He's a guy that wants to be in Gainesville, and it doesn't look at the job as stepping stone to somewhere else.
In the Jacksonville Area Golf Association's Amateur Championship, Ambrose Kinnear blew a 2-shot lead with a double at the 9, then coming home shot a 70. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Currently, it's 10:01 and it's 85 degrees. Your time and your temp is brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller. Stay tuned because Jaguars Today is next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
But look at us now. This one goes down as one of the greatest, victories I've ever had. I can honestly say this, in all my years of being around this game, being around what we did in the first half.
That ball is batted in and it's going to be picked off. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage and it is picked off by the Chargers. And here we go on 4th down. They snap it quickly, dropping. It's a blitz. Trevor fires downfield. That ball is going to be picked off. Two receivers to either side and a shotgun for Trevor Lawrence. Each in the running back. He drops. 4-man rush. Looking. Fires. And that ball is picked off again. Drops on 3rd and 10 is Trevor. Looking. Fires. And that ball's intercepted. Asante Samuel, I believe, has his 3rd interception of the game. Not very good play. Shanked out a little bit. It's going to bounce and take the Charger bounce. An incredible Charger bounce. The Jags might have touched the ball. I think the Jags touched it originally, and the Chargers have jumped on top of this thing.
Compared to the second half. What we talked about at halftime of just hanging together, one play at a time mentality. Defense was going to go get the stops. We were going to get the ball. We were going to punch it in the end zone, score every drive if we had to.
2nd down goal from the 9, dropping, looking, fires through the right corner of the end zone, and that ball is caught for the touchdown. Christian Kirk for the score. Dropping, Trevor looking, fires toward the back of the end. The ball's going to be caught for the touchdown. Marvin Jones Jr. for the score. Dropping this time. Trevor looking, fires deep downfield. Got a man wide open. St. Jones into the end zone. Touchdown, Jaguars.
And you did. Offensively, you did. Great job.
They run the ball with ETN. Tries to get the corner. He does. 35, 30, 25. He is going to get wrestled to the ground at the 15-yard line. What a play call.
But I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm proud of you for this reason. You have faith in yourself. You have faith in each other. You keep encouraging one another like we talk about all the time, and you believe.
There's so many plays, offense, defense, special teams, but with 3 seconds left, it came down to one dude, right?
Cook puts it down. Patterson's kick is up. The field goal is good! Good! The Jaguars have won it! The Jaguars have won it! They have come back from 27-0
case, Riley. Let's go. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jags on 3. 1, 2, 3. Jags! Before we get out of here, we got to get at least one. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
This boy got a hit.
Come on, somebody!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your host, Tony Smith.
Tony Smith, Emmanuel Thallerin here with you. Mike Dempsey is on assignment for the remainder of the week. RJ Saunders and ET getting flipped all around the broadcast calendar as we go through the week with JJ. Still welcoming the little one, Sophia, into the family home. So ET with me again today. I know he knew the assignment this morning, getting ready for today's edition of Jaguars Today. There will be a lot of 2022 reminiscing, I imagine, as we get into the top 5 here today on the program, with us asking you to think about your favorite Trevor Lawrence moments of the first 5 seasons of his career. I know I got plenty of what happened in that magical run in 2022 in there, a little bit of 2025 as well, maybe even some before or in between those two things, but we'll get into all that as we get into the program today. It's Tuesday, and we're now, ET, just a few days away from the Jags getting back on the field together as a team for the start of training camp. We'll put our off-season Tuesday tradition of the top 5 on the shelf until the calendar flips to 2027. But today, we continue the tradition with this week's list. This is the top 5, and we are asking you, what are your 5 favorite moments of the first 5 years of Trevor Lawrence's career here in Jacksonville? They could be a play, a game, an on-field moment, off-field moment, a storyline. If you had a personal interaction with Trevor, those are certainly in play, as well as, he lives in town. Like, that's our quarterback, ET.
That's my quarterback.
He's just around town at times as well. So if you've had any of those that you want to share, please do. That's part of our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. ET and I will be giving you our list as we go through the show this morning. You can send us your list on X. I'm at 1010XL Fat Tony. You can hit up ET at IME2, the T. That's the number 2.
Come on.
Thrown in there. Feel free to dial us up today as well on the phone line, 641-1010. They are wide open. If you have a Trevor Lawrence moment or memory that you want to share, you can catch us on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. We're streaming on all those platforms. As you played that open, ET, I was reminded of the way that felt. Right, the comeback from 27 down against the Chargers that day, and how that felt, especially coming a week after how Week 18 felt that year with what happened against the Titans the week before, and really the whole home season schedule for the football team that year. But I can remember the feeling being, and as you played the open, I was reminded, sports every now and then, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well, E. Sports every now and then becomes so big and emotional within moments that it's more like church than it is sports. Like that feeling that you get, it's just everyone pulling the same direction. It's very rare that you get the opportunity to be in buildings where you have that kind of energy around you. But for a home playoff game, especially one like what the Jaguars played there against the Chargers, I don't know how you recreate that anywhere else in your life. Except in a sports venue. I don't know where else that can even come from.
You're right, Tony. Like that night, it was just magical. I don't know how you can recreate that. Being down so many points, it's cold. We thought we were out of it. People were leaving, and then we pulled back that comeback. And on top of that, it was a playoff game on one of the, it was my favorite season, in Jaguars history. I wasn't really into it back in '96 And, a lot of people, they refer to 96, but that season, that playoff game, magical.
No doubt. We're rapidly approaching the 2026 season. We're just weeks away now from picking up our in-season rotation of hosts here on the show with David Garrard back on Mondays, checking the tape on Tuesdays with Jeff Lageman, a trip through the ozone on Wednesdays, Breakfast Bowl on Thursdays with Mike Duraco. ET, do you miss the Breakfast Bowl?
Man, no. Man, no.
It's funny watching how nervous RJ gets about it every time we bring it up. Right? Like, no one, he's going to have to step into that. And our year-round Friday co-host, Tom McManus, for the Tail of the Tape on Fridays as we get ready to get back into the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get into our top 5 as we go through the show this morning. Be sure to send us yours. The submissions we've already gotten have been fun. Just, again, the memory lane aspect of this one today, that's what it's all about. So let us know your top 5 Trevor Lawrence moments in his first 5 seasons here. When we return, we will catch up with our regular Tuesday guest, Jeff Lageman, and see whatever offseason tape he may have checked has revealed to him. Thanks for joining us here for this Tuesday edition of Jaguars Today. Logs will hop on with us when we return right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL.
Did you hear that? Hear what?
1010XL. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, expert care, improving lives.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Have a ton of Friday morning Gator fun with Dan Hicken, Jeff Prosser, and Gator great Patrick Young.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators.
Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and Kuhn Flowers.
What was the name of Van Morrison's first band? The answer coming up.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Van Morrison's first band was called Them.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, with big scoop ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lou's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
It's almost time to kick off the 2026 season at the bank. Whether you want to be at the center of it all as a season ticket member, lock in 3 or more games with a bundle at the bank, or cheer on the Jags at your most anticipated matchup, there's a way for everyone to be a part of the action. Seating is limited, so don't wait. Secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors. In the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the moment we've been waiting for. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia, now is the time for hope and action. Held in over 600 communities nationwide, the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest fundraiser for care, support, and research to fight the disease. So get out, get moving, and join the Walk to End Alzheimer's, November 7th, downtown Jacksonville. Join the movement at alz.org/Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Lewis, 2nd and 7. Lawrence. Got his man, touchdown! Chris Manhurts, the tight end.
Just another. That's Trevor Lawrence's first career touchdown pass right there. I can remember that moment there early on for Trevor. It's a Trevor kind of Tuesday here on Jaguars Today, as he is the theme of our top 5 here this morning, asking you for your favorite Trevor Lawrence moments of the first 5 seasons of his career. Again, that can be on the field, off the field, whatever catches your eye and attention about Trevor Lawrence. It is a Tuesday, and we're just a few weeks away from getting our regular in-season schedule going here on Jaguars Today. But today, we'll step into it on a Tuesday as we typically do. Not a whole lot of specific tape to check as far as looking back on a Sunday here with you, Logs, but it's good to have you on the program again this morning. What's going on, Jeff?
Well, it must mean that we're getting close to football season if I'm dropping in with you and Eve this morning, man. I got to like that.
No doubt about it. How are you spending the final week or so of your offseason here?
Oh, it's always busy, Tony. It seems like every year, you want to slow down a little bit in different areas, but it always gets a little bit busier. But yeah, I mean, it's all good. I mean, there's a lot going on in life, and that means it's a good thing, right? That means life is moving.
No doubt about it. The offseason kind of ends when training camp begins. We're about a week away from that happening for the team. What storyline are you most looking forward to watching develop when camp is opening up next week?
Well, I mean, a couple things. One is that, there's a lot of storylines, I think, that I would be more focused on as far as once the season begins. When training camp comes about, sometimes it's very difficult to kind of get a gauge on where this football team is at, or any football team is at, or where individuals are at. Sometimes the preseason gives you a little clue. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you come out of the preseason feeling really good about a football team, and then all of a sudden it gets to the regular season, and it's a very disappointing kind of start, and it's been kind of that way, I think, for a lot of teams. So for me, it's about storylines going into the season. I think the biggest one with this football team is that, can this football team be a consistent winner? Can it be a team that competes for division titles and winning records on a year in and year out basis? Because that's something that has eluded this franchise for many years. And you hope that Liam Cohen and Tony Boselli and James Gladstone have this organization going on the right path. I believe they do, but until you actually see it and it gets proven, we just don't know. And I think a big part of that is Trevor Lawrence, like you were talking about at the very beginning there. Where is he at? Where is he going to be at this year? We've seen Trevor in the past have 2 really good half seasons. You go back to 22, and he had a really good second half, and then last year he had a really good second half of the season. But can he sustain that? Is that going to be him going forward, or are we going to continue to see, a down year and then maybe another half a season? I think that's the challenge for him. And the challenge for Liam Cohen is to get Trevor playing at that level consistently week in and week out. And if they do get that, Tony, I mean, everybody is going to be loving this football team because they're going to be going places.
Yeah, they love it when they win, don't they? What has impressed you the most about Liam Cohen in his first year plus as a head coach here in the league?
Just his ability to communicate, I think, is at a super high level. And he always talks about finding your edge to his football team, and I think his edge is his ability to communicate. I also believe that he is incredibly organized and focused, and you got to have that as a head coach. And he's driven. You know, he's a hard worker, and you put all of that together, and I think you got a chance. And he's done a really good job putting together his staff on both sides of the ball. You know, he tweaked his staff a little bit in the off season, and I think that's the trait of a good head coach, a really good head coach. And he's still young, you know, and so you hope that what we're watching is the development of the next Sean McVay type, to where you've got a coach that's going to be your coach for many years to come. And if that's the case, then Shad Khan hit a home run in the hiring of Liam Cohen. And I'm excited about him. Everything that I've seen out of Liam, it gives me reason to be excited. And for me, this leadership in the organization has always been kind of hit or miss, and that's always been kind of an issue. And even though there's been a lot of talk in years past about working together in the organization between general manager and head coach and ownership, I think in a lot of cases it was just words, and it never really was true. And what I'm seeing last year and what I'm seeing going into this year has been extremely positive, and it's true. It's not some contrived, thing that's just giving a bunch of words to make it look and sound good. It's real, and you can feel it.
I know you get to watch some tape on guys heading into and coming out of the draft this year. It's a little bit different with it being their first pick didn't come until the second round, so it's a little more difficult to figure out what exactly you should be trying to look at. But you had the opportunity after they made the picks they did to go back and know exactly what you were going to be looking for. What about this year's draft picks got you the most excited when you had the opportunity to go back and look at their college tape?
Well, I mean, I think there's always something about every guy, and it's always interesting to me because the consensus amongst the media types, in grading the Jaguars draft, I think there were a lot of D's and F's in some cases, and it's interesting to me that happens because if you go back and you look at kind of the consensus of the draft, well, if you follow the consensus of the draft historically, you'd be lucky to bat 30%. Right? If you just follow consensus. So the Jaguars do something different, and it goes against the grain, what a lot of people kind of believed on their so-called draft boards. So why be so quick to criticize the Jaguars draft and to say that they don't know what they're doing? And I find that very interesting because a lot of times people are saying that because it's a reaction that they weren't right in what the Jaguars did. Well, if you look at historically of the consensus again is not right. So if the Jaguars are doing something different, why not have a little patience and say, hey, look, they've done some things that are very different than many people expected, and let's see how it works out. Because look, I'm excited about it. They've really been focused on this Jaguar DNA, and if you look at every player that they picked, the one attribute that I think that sticks out to me is, and you can call it Jaguars DNA, but its performance is there, the performance is there, but then also there's a commitment and a way that they play the game. All of these draft picks, from Borkshire to Regis to Pregnon to Husky to Williams to Cozio, Cameron Williams, all of them. They play the game at an extremely committed level. And I think that's the reason that gives this draft class a chance to certainly exceed the expectations of the consensus. But there's a little something about all of them, like Borkshire. I mean, he's got great hands, and I don't know why they didn't use him as a receiver more, but he's a blocker that is feisty. He's strong. Albert Regis in the second round, very strong at the point of attack. I think there's a little bit of a question mark in my mind about his ability to pass rush. Pregnon, I think, can be a starter day one. Jalen Husky, great ball skills. Wesley Williams, violent. Cozio, I think a lot of teams might end up having him rated higher, and many people view that as a good pick because he's got receiving skills. And then Cameron and Williams, the two wide receivers, I think both of these guys are going to be not only competing for play time at the wide receiver position, and to some extent, but mostly because of their value that they're going to give on special teams. So, I mean, I think there's a reason to be excited about everybody across the board there. But, until you get to the games, and the lights turn on and all that kind of stuff, you really don't know.
Jeff Lageman joining us here for a couple more minutes on Jaguars Today this morning. What do you think of the team's options in trying to replace Travis Etienne Achane and Devin Lloyd, the two big losses they had in free agency this offseason?
Well, look, I think the one thing that I think you you have to kind of understand is that sometimes it's not about replacing guys as it is moving on and just getting better across the board. Are they going to be able to replace ETN with one guy? Well, I don't know if that will necessarily happen. Can Chris Rodriguez come in and fill the shoes that ETN had? Maybe not. But you hope that Bashal Tutin raises his level of play, that Chris Rodriguez gives something that obviously they know very well about him. There's a lot of familiarity with him. And then Quinn Allen takes his game up a level. So it's not just one guy kind of replacing, a guy that was, had a great year the year before, as it is, hey, let's get better also across the board, not just at the running back position, but hey, look, let's lean on the tight end position a little bit more and a little less on what we had to do with ETN. Let's rely on Brenton Strange a little bit more. Let's rely on, the developing Parker Washington. So I think there's a lot of ways to look at that, because on defense, if you look at it from a standpoint of did they replace Devin Lloyd, the answer is no, but here's the thing. It's okay if you don't replace a Devin Lloyd because you can get better at all the other positions, and then you may be better as a whole than you were last year as a defense, as a whole. But you still didn't replace Devin Lloyd, and that's okay. And you hope that somebody develops, that some of these young guys that they brought in, some of the guys that they had on this football team, like Ventrell Miller, who, look, last year there was a true competition at that position, and he was involved in that. You hope that somebody develops, somebody shows out, and then you get better across the board.
He was the story of the Jaguars' offseason work, and I don't even have to say the name before I'm sure you know what direction I'm going with this, Lugs, with how good the offseason was. But what do you make of the work that you saw from Brian Thomas Jr. over the course of the offseason?
I think he needed to have this offseason. I really do. A lot of conversation as soon as last season ended about where he was, kind of what's his headspace, what's the future hold for him? A lot of questions about his roster spot. Would it be with his football team? Would there be a trade? There was a lot of smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm a big believer in that. And I think that the smoke was there because the performance took a notch down from his rookie season. And most importantly, the body language that we saw his rookie year was not present last year. But in the offseason, that body language returned. And that was really good to see. If Brian can get back to the level that he was at his rookie season for this football team, I mean, holy cow. Because the one thing that Brian brings to the table that Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington and others don't bring, it's that element to go deep and to consistently threaten the vertical aspect of every defense that they play. And if they can get him to do that and have that swag back, I mean, hold on, because, the great Al Davis he had it right, and it still applies to football today, and that having the vertical threat in the offense is still paramount to having great offensive success, and especially with Liam Cohn's offense, because he is a strong, devout believer in the running game. And the greatest compliment that you can have to the running game is the vertical game. That's how you get deep in the passing game, is that if you have a strong running game, that play action happens and then you can hit people deep. And Brian is a key to being able to have that aspect.
What do you expect in year 2 from Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And it's probably one of the questions that's on the top of people's minds around the country when you mention the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't think about Devin Lloyd. They're not thinking about Brian Thomas Jr. He's the first conversation piece when you start talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can he be a true two-way player? What's his role going to be on offense? What's his role going to be on defense? I don't know what it's going to be this year. I can tell you this. They need his elite cornerback skills on defense. They do. Just because there's nobody that compares to him on defense. Nobody. I mean, you can go through the whole list of corners from Jordan Lewis, Monteric Brown, to Jarian Jones, Jalen Husky. I mean, whoever. Nobody comes close to his skills as a corner. So you have to find a way to make sure that that's on the field. I think offensively, you can survive without him, but you don't have to, and that's the great thing. So I think you find packages and ways to get him involved in the offense, which which aren't forced. You know, you don't want to force things. You know, because look, if you've got a couple guys playing at a high level like Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, who last year finished the year playing at an extremely high level, and then you get Brian Thomas Jr. back to that level, then all of a sudden you're looking at Travis Hunter as kind of a great luxury item. On defense, he's a needed item. So I think it's that we may see a little bit of that, but I mean, who knows? You know, because but Travis Hunter is a very unique individual. He wants to play both ways. He wants to be elite on both sides of the ball, and he's an ultimate competitor. And ultimate competitors always find a way to be who they are. And so it's going to be fun to watch. And, you know, and I don't know the answer, but I want to see him on defense all the time. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that photo of him out at the Jaguars workout that came out over the weekend, I mean, is he a sculpture or a guy, right? Just the way his body looked in that moment. I can remember talking to you, Logs, about Trevor Lawrence during the preseason last year, maybe early in the season as well, and the name Jared Goff feeling like a pretty fair comparison for Trevor at the time as a player. Do you still like that player comparison for Trevor, and why or why not?
Yeah, I think that's close just because of, you know, the way that they can throw, but I think Trevor's a little bit more athletic than Jared Goff, so I think you can get more things with his legs than you do with Jared Goff. And, you know, last year, you go back to the moment where Trevor was kind of struggling, and then, you know, you had Liam Cohen pounding his chest, telling Trevor, hit him here, and then telling Trevor to cut it loose. I mean, that was all pretty cool when you look back on it, because, I mean, it was the development of Trevor within the Liam Cohen scheme. And then you go to Arizona, and the first half was not great. And when I say not great, some of it wasn't Trevor's fault. But then that pass that he threw, Tony, that was down the middle of the field to where the guy wasn't even turned, breaking into his route, but he made the throw well in advance. When he made that throw, I was like, oh, my God, what a great throw. He is totally now getting it. And it was just like, no, you know, making throws, you know, with his eyes closed, kind of that feel, you know, of Caddyshack, you know, where the putts are just going in, you know, and that's just where Trevor had it. And so you hope that that's kind of where he is at going forward. But I'm excited about him. And again, he's more athletic than Jared. But again, the challenge, going back to what I said at the very beginning, the challenge is to be able to do that consistently. You know, and Jared Goff has done it consistently. You know, Trevor hasn't been able to play at that level consistently. You know, I believe he can, and so now we just need to see it.
We'll let you go on this. Our top 5 this week is about Trevor Lawrence and asking our listeners for their 5 favorite moments on or off the field here to start his career in Jacksonville. You've been on the call for all the on-field moments. Do you have a favorite moment of yours that pops into your mind when you think about Trevor to this point in his career?
Yeah, I probably go to last year, that throw against the Cardinals. I mean, because it was the turning point. It was the turning point. And you hope that you look back at that moment and you say, okay, that's the turning point where Trevor found it and he grasped it. And now instead of operating kind of within the matrix, he's running the matrix, so to speak. And so you hope that you look back and say that moment right there, it all clicked and he became the master, you know, but this year will tell the tale. You know, this year will tell the tale. And Tony, I hope that the greatest Trevor Lawrence moment is yet to come, because so far this team hasn't done anything. You know, this game and great moments are about greatness and great moments and Super Bowls and winning championships and division titles. And so I hope the great moments are yet to come.
And it certainly feels like they're in a window where the possibility of a Super Bowl is at least real, right? Like, we've had plenty of seasons going in where it's like, we know everyone's goal is the Super Bowl, but come on, right? Like here in Jacksonville. But this year, it's one of those rare years where, you know, it, Logs, it's real. Like, this could be a team that can win a Super Bowl. Why not?
It is real. And I think they're not afraid to talk about it, but they also understand that you have to do the work. And in order to have that chance, you got to have the quarterback, you got to have the coaching, you got to have the culture. You know, and I believe this organization has established those necessary things, and so it gives them a chance. which excites me about this football team for this year. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it perform.
Logs, it's always good catching up with you. We'll see you out at training camp, and we'll see you on Tuesdays to catch the little tape when the time comes as well. Thanks for coming on, my friend.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, that's Jeff Loggeman. You can hear him on the broadcast. You can hear him on Saturday mornings with the fishing forecast here on 1010XL as well. When we return, ET, it's time for us to get to our top 5 list. Get them started here this morning, asking you about your favorite Trevor Lawrence moments. We'll get to number 5 on each of our lists as we dig into this Tuesday edition of Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Sandwiches, subs, they got you covered in Duval, and they've had you covered in Duval for the last 7 decades. That's right, 70 years Dandy has been in business as a Jacksonville-based company started by the Thompson family way back in 1956, back when sandwiches were sold out of beer flats on the counter, unrefrigerated, right there by the register. Yeah, back then, 25 cents to get you ham and cheese. Of course, prices have gone up a little bit, but Dandy is still one of the most economical options for food on the go you're going to find anywhere, including right here in Duval County. So swing into an area Circle K, head right to the fresh case, and check out that very impressive line of sandwiches and subs. And know this, they're all made with the highest quality ingredients that the Thompson family can find, locally sourced as often as possible. They give you great variety. They're delivered fresh daily. And yeah, once again, they keep the prices in check. So when you're hungry in Duval, Dandy is absolutely the name to know. So when you are and you're out and about, do what I do. Stop in and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
From the XL Digital Studios, polished by Harbor Dental Care, official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
There's only one sport with games to bet every day the rest of the summer, and there's only one legal app to bet it. Bet baseball on Hard Rock Bet, your home to bet home runs, strikeouts, even the next at-bat. It's secure and regulated, so your money is safe. Step up to the plate with towering parlays that can turn a dollar bet into a max payout up to $2 million.
It's out of here!
Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Today's vehicles are smarter than ever, but that also means they need more precision than ever. Features like lane assist, collision warning, and adaptive cruise control all rely on cameras, sensors, part of what's called ADAS. And if those systems are even slightly off, they might not work correctly. That's why, after certain repairs, your vehicle will need ADAS calibration. At G&H Tires and Service, they have the ADAS system, so your vehicle's safety features work the way they're supposed to. Don't guess with your safety. G&H Tires and Service. Precision that protects.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Ever call a service company for a simple repair, then suddenly you're being told you need to replace everything in your house? Not at Duck Duck Rooter. Whether it's plumbing, septic, or air conditioning, we start with one goal. Solve the problem you called about. No pressure, no scare tactics, no surprise charges. Just honest service done right. That's why homeowners across Northeast Florida trust Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Picking here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Nothing says All-American like a great meal and a great deal. MyGate Rewards members. Grab any roller grill favorite, Lay's brand chips, and an ice-cold Pepsi or Gatorade, all for just $5.50. The All-American Meal Deal only at Gate. See store for details.
Step inside Twin Peaks, warm wood, stone accent, and the mountain retreat vibe that hits the second you walk in. Massive TVs line up every wall, turning every seat into front row views of all the action. ET here, and I'm staying here for a while because of the smell of the wings, the burgers, and the 29-degree draft beer chills and frosted mugs like it's straight from the center. The bar stays lively, and the Twin Peaks girls keep the whole place feeling fun and welcoming. For the ultimate sports lodge experience, it's always Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Lawrence looking for a second rushing touchdown, and he's got it. Second of the day for Trevor Lawrence.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your host, Mike Dempsey.
That's an area that Trevor Lawrence has always been pretty good in, ET. He's been okay with his feet, especially down towards the goal line. That's just something he's always had. But last year, my goodness, 9 rushing touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. But we want to get into our top 5. We're obviously looking at our 5 favorite moments of Trevor Lawrence to this point in his Jaguars career. ET, it's just you and me.
Let's go.
For the list here this morning. So let's get into it with number 5 on our list here today. ET, I'll let you lead off. What do you have at number 5 on your list of your favorite Trevor Lawrence moments?
Man, I love a good trash talker. And I love when Trevor talks that trash. You know, that it shows his confidence. And because in order to be a trash talker, in order to talk that talk, you got to be able to walk that walk. And when Trevor is talking that talk, we know he's walking that walk. So December 11th, 2022, we just defeated the Titans.
Yep.
And, you know, we don't really rock with those Titans. We don't rock with the Titans fans at all. So after handing them L's, Trev literally looked at the fan and started waving bye-bye. That's one of my favorite Trevor moments right there, because that right there let me know, oh, yeah, Trevor, that's what we do here in Duval.
Yeah.
We don't rock with those Titans, man.
Right. Like anyone who's seen the video of the Seattle players climbing into the stands on that Sunday night.
That's Duval right there.
Like Duval didn't even flinch.
No. No.
Like they were just standing there going, well, come up.
Come on up here.
Like if you want it, come and get it.
The post game interview when they interviewed him, it's like, yeah, if he would have climbed over them gates, he would have found out. He would have found out.
There's no doubt a little bit more about that moment in Tennessee, I promise you, coming up later on my list. Number 5 for me, I put the Trevor Lawrence signing that 5-year, $275 million extension, June of 2024. Josh Hines Allen had signed his extension in March of that same offseason here in Jacksonville. And after it's funny. I got a friend of mine we're both into the World Cup, and I've been joking around about FIFA. It's all about vibes, right? Right. It's why the things that seem to happen around Argentina and Lionel Messi seem to happen. It's like, well, why wouldn't they? Like, obviously FIFA they would prefer for Argentina and the best player maybe the sport's ever seen to continue in the tournament, right? Like that is their preferred outcome. So why wouldn't the vibes overtake some stuff? This is kind of a vibes pick for me, and here's kind of my thinking for it. It's after the chaos of the Urban Miller era, as we call it here on the show, and the inability of the franchise to get players that they wanted to potentially make this decision to make the cornerstones of the franchise, even potentially Jalen Ramsey, Yannick Ngakoue, Allen Robinson. They were willing to offer all these guys big money. Who knows how much money Yannick Ngakoue lost with his just unwillingness to continue his career in Jacksonville. He said no. He was willing to take less money on the franchise tag after being traded to Minnesota. That's how badly he wanted out of Jacksonville. That's how contract extension negotiations were going for the Jacksonville Jaguars for it felt like a very long time. But in one offseason, For Josh Hines Allen and Trevor Lawrence to both say, this is where I'm planting my flag, right? And to announce that with extensions that are big extensions for the football team. One, it shows that Shad Khan's always been willing to spend the money. So that's never been the real issue with whether these guys were coming back. But two, that there were guys that got drafted here that didn't say, where's the door? As soon as they could actually see the door, they weren't running through it. I thought that was a big deal for the franchise. Those deals getting done felt like a significant turn.
Absolutely.
Potentially for the entire franchise and the entire city here in Jacksonville. That's enough to get it to number 5 on my list. We still got the 4 through 1 to get into. I saw an article over on ESPN, an all backup team that Bill Barnwell put together. Did you glance at this yet?
We did.
My thought coming out of it, the question I'll ask before we get into it here in the next segment, we've heard the whispers from time to time. You know, a few weeks ago, you can remember the little bit of noise there was about should there be an international division, right? Should we just add 4 teams to the NFL and make it that way? You know, if they want to expand the NFL, which I said at the time, that's lunacy. Well, now you have an article being put together by Barnwell saying, well, let's take a look and see what we can do if we take the best backup team that we can in the NFL. Well, here you go, everybody. How competitive could this team be if we just took everyone's best backups, which you'd be getting that and worse, especially if you were going to expand it by 4 teams in the National Football League. So that's the question I ask you to keep in your mind as we take a look at the backup team by Bill Barnwell in the NFL. We'll get to our number 4 on the top 5 list today as well. You're listening to Jaguars Today here on Tuesday on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer team, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Frank Frangie here for my friends at Coyle Fencing. You've heard me talk about our Bragan baseball complex with walk-off charities and we needed a batter's eye. Nobody knew how to do it. Coyle figured it out, and it is great. Since then, Coyle & Sons has completed hundreds of projects, including most recently our football fields at Fort Family Park. The bottom line is they do everything. They do it well. It looks great. I trust Coyle & Sons. You can too. Since 1927, they've been getting it right. CoyleJacks.com, C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. That's where you find them, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey roofers, finish and close out jobs same day with PermitRockstar.com. Their full-service permitting platform helps contractors cut permitting delays by up to 80%. Stop waiting and start building with PermitRockstar.com.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a long list of things you want to get done around the house before football season begins. Do yourself a favor and make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the incredible garage. Closets by Design can help turn any garage into a custom organized space. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or online closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Second and goal now. Lawrence fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Christian Kirk.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Excited as Al Michaels was all day in that playoff game. My goodness, his call on that field goal is
ridiculous.
An all-time bad call. For the moment, but yeah, there the touchdown pass as the comeback was on for the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Chargers in the wild card round there in 2022. Let's continue our countdown of our 5 favorite Trevor Lawrence moments in his first 5 seasons here in Jacksonville. Number 4 for me, E.T., and it was after a loss, but it did stick in my head. Like it popped in my head immediately. The letter after the divisional round loss in 2022 to the entire city of Jacksonville that Trevor Lawrence wrote for the Players Tribune.
Yeah.
And I remember how impactful it was in my head at the time, but I was like, what exactly was it about that thing that got me? Right? So I went back and read it again. And the beginning of it, he's got the thing where he's talking about we're down 27-0. He's like, you can understand if the building was ready to empty out. But there was the moment early on in the letter where he said, but then I looked up into the stands and I noticed something. Nobody was leaving.
Crowd was thick.
Yep. And then he said, that struck me as saying a lot about this place. We're down 27 in a playoff game. Most people watching on TV probably thought it was over, but inside the bank, it wasn't like that at all. Everyone was with us, still getting crazy loud, waving their towels, trying to pump us up. Your energy in that moment, he's talking to you, Jacksonville. It meant a lot. It was a really good reminder that nothing was decided yet and nothing had to matter except what was in front of us. Those picks didn't have to matter. The score didn't have to matter. There was a whole half of football left, and we had a really good football team, and we had y'all. You know, going back to this vibes thing I was discussing a moment ago, I don't think there are few things in sports more powerful than a team matching the vibes of their fan base. When they match the energy of their fan base, you want to talk about bringing people in for a big hug, you know, for those kind of things. When you recognize the energy they're giving you and you just give it right back. You're the mirror. We are you. You are us. And when you have those kind of moments that happen in sports, man, they are special. And that was certainly one of those moments. And for Trevor to be willing to call it out like, you're the reason we did this. Like, we're the guys out on the field, but we don't do this without you guys never losing faith, right, in what's going to happen. And I do, like, fair enough. There's enough long-suffering Jaguars fans that are like, 27-0, we're hosting a playoff game, right? Right? Like, there is a little bit of that energy, but still, to be able to provide the battery for that kind of comeback, my goodness.
And that speaks volumes on the character of Trevor to even being able to go back to that moment. Because, you know, a lot of people, at the end of the day, people are people. And they can be like, all right, cool, whatever. Like you said, we're hosting a playoff game. We're down 27.
Yeah, we don't do this often.
But however, we were the battery to one of the greatest comeback, if not the greatest comeback in Jacksonville Jaguars history. And Trevor was able to note that in that letter.
No doubt. What do you got at number 4, E?
Well, Tony, I'm also going back to the 2022 season.
It's a magnet.
I'm also going to a moment after a loss. And I got to set the stage. Trevor drops back. Trevor gets hurt. Trevor exits the game. Everybody's heads down. Oh, no, Trevor's hurt. Trevor's hurt. But then, oh, wait. Oh, look. We're getting views of Trevor walking through the tunnel coming back to the field. And that was the December game. You had to remind me. Jags at Detroit in December. And Trev took what looked like a gruesome hit. We thought, I don't know, we were thinking the worst. ACL, MCL, knee, ankle, whatever
Season's
it was.
done, yeah.
We thought season was done. But then just to see Trevor walking back, like in the tunnel, walking back to the sideline, it gave me Stone Cold Steve Austin vibes. It gave me badass vibes. And that was one of my favorite moments of just seeing Trevor, just him displaying his toughness. Because playing quarterback, you got to be a tough guy. And Trevor certainly is a tough guy. And he's put that on display day in and day out.
Yeah. If you want to see a 27-point comeback in the wild card round, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Right, like it does feel like one of those kind of moments, a stone cold moment for Trevor Lawrence. I mentioned that we want to get into the all backup team that Barnwell had brought up. We'll get into that here in the next segment, as he did pick a couple Jaguars for that team. But what does any of that mean when you actually look at the roster as a whole, as the backup roster in the National Football League? It gives you an idea of how far behind the frontline guys, the backups actually are in the NFL. We'll get into that as we continue along. Still got 3, 2, and 1 on our top 5 list as well. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Remember when Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser broke into show business?
This doesn't strike you as kind of dumb?
Look at them now.
We're family. We're going to be doing lots of dumb stuff together.
And together, they're The Drill.
Wait till Christmas.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay. Full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
It's here, Middleburg. Firehouse Subs is now open at the all-new Clay Town Center. Try the bold new steak and cheese melt, stacked with premium steak, melted cheese, and big flavor in every bite. Firehouse Subs at the Clay Town Center, open now.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
College football fans, I'm Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the Tex Slayer Gator Bowl. Don't miss your last chance to watch college football in Jacksonville before the stadium is renovated. The SEC and ACC face off in Everbank Stadium for this year's Tex Slayer Gator Bowl Wednesday, December 30th at 11:30 a.m. A perfect buy for family stocking stuffers. Act now and get a sizzling summer special of 4 tickets for $100 at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com. TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
This is your 1010XL Local Sports Update, sponsored by Gate Express Car Wash. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart at the podium for SEC Media Days responded to the Florida-Georgia game moving to Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm excited for that opportunity. It's a change in venue, excited for our fan base, and, Florida's got a large contingent in fan base in Atlanta.
Florida, sitting 9th in the preseason All-SEC poll, takes the podium tomorrow. At your 1010XL Local Sports Update, I'm Sam Nelson.
Currently, it's 11 a.m. and it's 87 degrees. Your time and your temp is brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller. Stay tuned for more with Jaguars Today next right here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
3rd and 3, Lawrence pressured. Lawrence breaks through. He'll run it. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence sneaks through, avoids the sack, and finds the end zone.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
Oh, it sounded like the Colts fans were upset with Trevor up there in that moment a little bit. At the end of that play, we'll continue our countdown of our top 5 favorite moments from Trevor Lawrence here in the first 5 seasons of his career. Before we get to that, though, I've been teasing it for half an hour now, ET. I might as well get to the article over there.
Give it to him.
On ESPN. Bill Barnwell put together an NFL all-backup team. As I said, going into the discussion here, look at it from the viewpoint of, for the people that have talked about NFL expansion, the international, maybe division, and for all of you who your first reaction to that is, well, that's crazy. Well, just take a look at the all-backup team and think to yourself even more convincingly, that's crazy, right? To think that you can put together a backup team in the NFL and be really competitive. A couple of Jaguars were picked. One of them, if I was going to put together a team like this, it would make sense that the name would pop up immediately. And it's even kind of talked about in the write-up in the article that way. And that's Walker Little, an offensive tackle. There's not a whole lot of teams whose 6th offensive lineman is as flexible as a guy like Walker Little is. But he can play 4 positions for you on your offensive line, and he's okay basically at any of them. There's not a whole lot of those kinds of guys. And Barnwell, even in the write-up, said Little is one of the few obvious picks for this team, right? Which gives you an idea of this team. Like, there's not a whole lot of guys to get really excited about. The other Jaguars player that got mentioned was safety Jalen Husky, who we've all got memories pages long of, right? Who we've never seen play in a Jaguars uniform, but that's where we're at when we're getting to the all-backup team. To give you an idea of just exactly what this team looks like. The quarterbacks for the NFL all-backup team, Joe Flacco, which, okay, we've seen him. He's still been competitive, at least, the last couple of years, despite the age. Fernando Mendoza, chalk it up to he's a backup right now, but maybe not by week 1. Like, we'll see what that means. And Jameis Winston. All right. Yeah. All right. Running back, Tyler Algier, Rico Dowdle, Kenny Gainwell, Keaton Mitchell. That's not a bad group.
Not bad. Yeah.
But that kind of makes sense for the running back position specifically for that kind of thing to happen. Wide receiver, Chimere Dike, the Tennessee return man more than wide receiver, but he would definitely give you a leg up when it came to the return game, having him on your team. Greg Dortch in Detroit. Ashton Doolin in Indianapolis, Demario Douglas, Cedric Tillman, Olamide Zacchaeus. Okay. Like, DK gives you a little bit as the special teams guys, so that would make some sense. But I don't know how much any of these guys give you as any kind of threat as a wide receiver. Then at tight end, Terrence Ferguson, Jackson Halls, Joe Royer, Eli Stowers.
No.
Hopefully they can block. But you just don't know about them because they're tight ends that can block. We don't talk about those guys all that much. We love our guy, though, that can do that kind of thing. Offensive tackle, this is where Walker Little was. Obviously, Trent Brown's at least the name everybody knows. He's right now not a starter in Houston, so he's on this kind of list. Jamari Saylor, Andrew Wiley, guard, not a whole lot to see there. Center, Lloyd Cushenberry and Pat Coogan. Right? Like, there's nothing here.
Nothing.
Like, edge rusher, Kingsley Enagbare, Nick Erberg. He's an all right player. Malcolm Kuntz, Al-Quadin Muhammad in Tampa, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau's not a starter in New York right now. What the heck's happening? That's why. Is he really not a starter in New York?
That's probably the biggest name on that list.
That is crazy. I thought he was all about the Big Apple, where his media stuff could get noticed, that kind of thing. Corner and safety is really where you just kind of go, what on earth are you supposed to do? Michael Carter, Martin Emerson Jr., Christian Fulton, Will Lee, and Benjamin St. Just. Woof. Right? Like, how do you get to that list? Why aren't all the Jaguars backups on that list? They're as good as any of those guys. Right? When you look at the back end of the depth chart at corner for the team, safety was Cam Lewis, Jalen Husky, as we mentioned, PJ Locke, and Marquez Sigil. It's interesting here when they list the full team, they got Husky listed as a Carolina Panther. That tells you how much they're paying attention to these kinds of things. But yeah. And then, kicker, who really cares what exactly that's going to be. Who's a backup kicker? Is that just the guy that's floating around?
I want that job.
Right. Zane Gonzalez is the guy they list in Miami, if you say so. Right? Like, they got a punter on the team, Brett Thorson. Again, if you say so.
Right.
Long snapper, Bo Gardner in Chicago. Again, all right. See the Bears backup long snapper? Because I'm sure we're all paying attention to the depth chart at long snapper all over the entire league. Let's get back into, but really the bigger point there being, for the people that talk about expansion, we're already thin. Like, if you're just taking all the best backups that aren't listed as starters on NFL teams right now and putting together a roster like that, we just went through it. You want to do that for 4 teams worth of guys? Whew. How competitive could any of that be? Right? There's just not enough bodies to do that kind of thing. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be a handful of those guys that when there's something, you can look at something like the NBA, righty. And I think there are a lot more guys that could score 20 points a night than are allowed to score 20 points a night, right? There are guys that if you say, shoot till you score, that they'd be capable of scoring for you.
Yeah.
They're just not going to be efficient doing it, which is why you don't ask those guys to go do it, because you're not helping yourself in the end by doing it. Doesn't mean they can't. And I wouldn't say that there isn't the possibility in the NFL that there's a bunch of guys who just aren't names that we know because we haven't watched it, right? So there will be a handful of those guys that when you give them the opportunity to be the guy, it's like, oh, this is where he belongs, right? There's a little bit of that, but there's not enough of that in that list that we just went through to feel good about a roster, or certainly expanding it beyond one team to possibly 4.
Yeah.
Which is the insane idea they're talking about there. That is just bananas. Are we going to play 10 on 10 instead of 11 on 11?
Uh-huh.
Right? Are we just going to completely change the way the game is played? I don't know how else you can even get to that kind of thing. Let's get back to our top 5 list. We're at number 3 on our list here. E, what do you have there?
Oh, man, this was a play, man. Another electric night. There's nothing I like more than a night game here in Duval. And this comes from a Monday nighter in Kansas City. The Stumble in the Jungle.
Have we decided that that's the name?
No, I hear all type of names for it.
I kind of prefer the Slip Six.
Slip Six is cool.
I kind of like that.
He slipped and then he slipped again.
Right. I kind of like, but the Stumble in the Jungle.
I like the Stumble in the Jungle.
It's good too. I like the Slip Six. It goes a little quicker off the tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Than Stumble in the Jungle. But it's funny because that play obviously has got mentioned a lot. I got it at number 3 on my list too.
Oh, for real?
The same play.
So I'll call it the Stumble in the Jungle. You call it the Slip Six.
And I have it written as the Slip Six.
I got a Stumble in the Jungle
on my list. And we got a bunch of people that have obviously had that play on what they put in on their top 5 as well. Yeah, whatever the heck you want to call it. Did you hear when Trevor went on with Ozone at the end of their offseason?
Okay.
And he did the Ozone podcast with them, and Johnny asked him about how many times has he seen that play?
Yeah.
Right? And Trevor was like, oh, gosh. I don't know. I've seen it so many times. And then John asked, it was like, was that your favorite play of the season? And Trevor's like, no.
Heck no. Heck no.
Are you kidding? He looked like a deer trying to learn to walk.
Right.
For 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like. But then who cares if it ends up in the end zone?
6, baby. 6. That night, Tony, man, again, you can, my perspective is a little different from yours because you're down in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm out amongst the people, Tony.
Right.
And, man, that Monday night, we're beating Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was electric, Tony. We had some electric nights in the bank, and that was one of them as well when Trevor.
Take me through that play specifically. I mean, he does stumble and fall twice with the game potentially on the line. In that moment, what was happening with you and the handful of people around you as you were watching it happen?
Oh, he was getting dog cussed. When he slipped down, it's like, man, what the? Bruh. Yeah. Crowd going crazy. It was one of those moments, man. It was awesome. It was electric. Yeah, he was getting dog cussed, but at the end of the day, we threw him on our shoulders and we was riding with Trevor.
No doubt. You can't even, if it happened in a movie, you'd be like, oh, come on.
Uh-huh.
It's like, who would ever believe, if you put that in the longest yard, you're like, well, this is absurd. That's not how football works, right? It's one of those. And it's like, it happened.
Yep.
I know it can happen because I saw it happen with our guy. And then, for one prominent Kansas City defender who is likely heading to the Hall of Fame to just be standing there looking up at the sky.
Yes, sir.
As the whole thing is happening all around him. It's like, how do y'all win back-to-back Super Bowls and maybe your best player on that side of the ball ever is just standing there staring at the sky at the end of a Monday night game?
He's watching it.
Oh, my goodness. But that's Kansas City's problem, dealing with the fallout for all that kind of stuff. And fallout turned out to be a 6-win season for the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. And the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, we'll see when he's going to look like Patrick Mahomes again as he attempts to come back for the 2026 season. We still got numbers 2 and 1 on our list to get to. Want to get into an article as well from Ben Solak, who was listing the biggest storylines over at ESPN for teams is they're starting to report for training camp. A bunch of, I think, 4 different teams report for camp today around the National Football League. So it's happening. Training camps are about to get started across the entire league. There is a Jaguar story in the article. Have you seen this article yet, E?
I have not.
All right. So try to guess in your mind what that story might be, Jaguars related, as he's looking at the biggest storylines as teams are reporting for training camp. We'll talk about that as we return. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. He's like the uncle with opinions about everything.
I got a lot of information I'd like to pass on to young ball players.
Rick Ballou.
That's where I belong, and that's what I want to do.
After the Frangie Show.
That's right.
Evenings on 1010XL.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Nobody likes feeling taken advantage of by a service company. That's why homeowners across Northeast Florida choose Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When we come to your home, our job is simple. Find the problem, fix the problem. Charge a fair price, no upselling, no scare tactics, no surprise recommendations designed to sell you more than you need. Quality work from a local team you can trust. Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie for the farm at Okefenokee. My wife and I and a bunch of friends just got back from the farm, and we had an incredible experience. We toured the regenerative farm, as well as the beautiful handcrafted cabins, and were treated to a fantastic farm-to-table dinner created by Congreve and Penn. Man, was it good. Well, you can learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com. And even hear my interview with farm co-founder Doug Davis to learn even more about this amazing property. That's okefarm.com.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
Hacker here, and I'm going to be up in New England for the next couple of days, taking in a little family getaway before football season. And thanks to Awaken 180, that family getaway will include some water parks, some hide and seek, some water balloon battles, some silly string battles with my 7-year-old and other kids in the family up there in the New England area. 2 years ago, when I was over 300 pounds, I could not have dreamed of doing that, particularly in the hot summer months. But thanks to Awaken 180, the coaching I got, the guidance I got, the weight absolutely fell off. It's the real deal. Results speak for themselves. I lost over 100 pounds thanks to the best weight loss program I've ever been on. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800 and do what I did. Get your life back with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Honda always has cool stuff, Greg. But talk about the side-by-side of what Pioneer has.
I tell you, the all-new Pioneer, which is their flagship model, all redesigned this year, comes with a cab for heat and AC, so if you want to stay a little cool on those hot summer days when you're out riding, this is the ticket.
And you can have the stereo, full sound.
You name it, we got it. Wheels, tires, stereos, lights, heat and AC, we're your people.
Go check it out in the showroom. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Lawrence rolling. Goes on the move, past the sticks. Johnny Munt makes the catch, and he's inside those set. And the rookie Bashal Tootin is the back. Lawrence the fake, floats it out there. It is a touchdown. It's Quentin Morris. His first as a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Might have been his last, too. As a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see. There for Quentin. I mentioned going into the break, Ben Solak over at ESPN put together an article this morning. Training camp's getting started across the league, and he was taking a look at the top storylines for NFL training camps. He split it up into 4 categories, He's got questions, battles, injuries, rookies, right? So you can take your guess as to where the Jaguars may land in one of those areas. For instance, when he gets to the questions spot, 5 unanswered questions that could be answered, it leads off with, did the Texans do enough along the offensive line?
Okay.
Right? And that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Follows up with the Eagles. What does the Eagles offense look like, right, with A.J. Brown being gone? Fair enough. How does coordinator Davis Webb change the Broncos, as they do change OCs this year up there in Denver? But the head coach probably has a word or two to say about what the offense is going to look like there in Denver, I would imagine. The Bengals defense ready to meet expectations? Boy, oh boy. Can you imagine having that quarterback with those wide receivers, that offense? You've played in a Super Bowl. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice. You know, you almost got it past Aaron Donald that year. It was close. It was close. So, all right. But the defense is going to be whatever it's going to be. And then with the Raiders, what sort of first-team reps does Fernando Mendoza get?
Yeah.
And what does he do with them? Fair enough, right? 5 training camp battles to watch. Jets cornerback, if you say so. Chargers tight end. Sure. Falcons quarterback. That's not bad. Right? Quarterback battles, it's always going to draw attention. Right? You can probably do the same thing with the Raiders. Raiders quarterback battle. Like, okay. Like, they are the storylines. It'll be, if you flip on ESPN as we watch them purge names right here over the next few days, including yesterday, what we don't flip the ESPN for anymore is actual news about sports. Like, you flip over to ESPN because there's a game on, right? That's generally why you flip over. How often do you flip over to get news about anything anymore in sports? I mean, it just doesn't happen. But if you're going to flip over to the newsy stuff here as training camp gets started, it's going to be quarterback battle somewhere in the NFL is basically the extent of the kind of stories that they're going to cover. So fair enough.
Right.
If you want to put the Falcons quarterback situation on there. And then the 49ers secondary, again, I'm not in the weeds on what's going on with San Francisco's secondary, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got something going on. But this is where the Jaguars show up.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of thought for people in their heads that if they were going to show up on a list like this, it would be running back.
That's what I think.
Right?
That's what I would have thought.
Like, it would be what's going to happen with Tootin and Rodriguez.
Yes.
How's that going to get split up?
How going to get split.
Right. Well, it is about splitting something up. But it's wide receivers.
That would be the second guess.
Right. And the write-up they have is all three of the following Jaguars will see plenty of targets this season: Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. In fact, let's get wild and throw in a fourth, Travis Hunter. Because why would we write a Jaguar story if we can't put Travis Hunter in it? In what order would those targets get distributed? Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, fair enough. I think we're all trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like. It is interesting, though, that with all the battles that they could pick from across the league, right? Like, it's not like there's only 16 answers that they even have here, like questions that they're presenting from across all 32 teams. It's got the 4 categories and the 4 different things in each category. They chose a Jaguars category like this one? It's kind of an odd one.
It is.
Right? Like, I understand it. Like, we've had plenty of the conversations about what it's going to be. Now, part of the angle for them is still kind of chewing on that draft bone that a lot of people seem to have in their minds. It's like, well, if they're going to draft Nate Borkature, how much do they need to play him to justify the pick kind of thing? And in my head, it's like, who cares? Like, I don't care how much Nate Borkature plays.
No.
I don't need to justify the draft pick. And I don't get a big sense from the guys that we have in the building that they're like, well, we took him where we took him. So we got to play him. Like, do you have any sense of that kind of thing happening with those guys?
No, not a single one.
I mean, if they're willing to spend an entire offseason hyping up De'Ami Brown, and then we get into it and he drops that ball against Cincinnati and they go, well, just don't throw the ball to him anymore. We're done with that.
Basically,
right? Like, they're willing to deal with those kind of issues that kind of way. But that is where the Jaguars show up in that kind of list. The injuries, obviously, there's nothing big for the Jaguars nothing big enough that the entire national scene is going to be aware of what's going on with the offensive line injuries that the Jaguars may be dealing with going into the season, right? So it's not like they're going to be like, is Cole Van Lannon going to be healthy week 1? We have that question. But I can understand that not showing up on when you have a list that it's Malik Neighbors. All right. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Tank Dell. Yes. George Kittle. Absolutely. Right. Like, if you're talking about the injuries going into it, those names are going to draw a whole lot more attention than what's going on at left tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars with, whatever that would be. And obviously the Jags aren't going to show up in the what rookie to watch kind of list. They don't even have a first-round pick, so it's not like any of that's getting attention. Their rookie already got the attention in the how much do they have to play Borkature part of the conversation about the wide receivers. Let's get back to our top 5 list. Only the top couple left on our list, DT. Number 2 for me, I wrote it down as that throw.
Okay.
And I put it in all caps. That throw to Parker Washington against the Jets last year, rolling left and going backwards. As good or better than any other throw I saw from across the entire National Football League last year. The best throw that I've seen from Trevor Lawrence. I was watching somebody do a breakdown of the throw again after I had brought it up to my list. I was like, all right, let me go back and see what people were saying about it when it happened. And like, you see the play again. If you haven't seen it in a while, go back and watch it again. The whole thing is nuts, right? Because the Jets send a blitz on the play, and the free rusher is free. They sent 7. The Jags had 6 blockers, right? So they got the free rusher. Trevor could have checked it down in the moment. Instead, he rolls out to his left.
He did like a little twirl.
He's going back. It's 3rd down, by the way, on the play. So it's you got to make something happen on the play is what Trevor's got going in his head. That roll to the left, he's now 25, almost 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and lets that ball go downfield in stride to Parker Washington over 2 defenders. Lunacy.
That's what you call arm talent.
Right.
Arm
Absolute
talent.
Lunacy from Trevor Lawrence on that play. Good enough to be number 2 on my list. How about for you, ET?
Number 2 on my list, Tony, I call this Meet Me at the Waffy. All right? So for those of you who don't know, the Waffy is the Waffle House. So after that thriller of a game where we came back from behind to defeat these LA Chargers 31-30 off of the leg of Patterson, most would go out and celebrate. Most would go out and party like a rock star. Your boy, I'd be in them streets. But not my quarterback. What did our quarterback do, Tony Smith?
Yeah.
He went to the Waffle House.
No doubt.
And I love that quarterback more than a comeback playoff victory and then going to the Waffle House.
Yeah. And then getting Waffle House delivered to the team as well, like on top. Like, again, having the conversations about vibes and energy. And I think it's a big deal when your guys match your energy.
Match your energy.
And I don't know that it's the Liam Cohen this year against San Francisco, right? When he has the confrontation with Robert Saleh on the field after the game, and he's on the field screaming at him, keep my name out of your mouth.
Yeah, energy.
Like, you're seeing that. It's like, that's us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you want to know why people every now and then they'll step on the anthill that is Jaguars Twitter and be like, what is this? They're like, this energy is crazy. It's like, keep our name out of your mouth.
Ain't bothering y'all.
Right. When the head coach is willing to match that energy, you're just like, our guy.
Yep, that's our
guy.
guy.
Ride or die with our guy. Trevor Lawrence going to the Waffle House, that's us.
That's Duval County, baby.
That's us. Like, that doesn't work everywhere in the country. That's playing NFL football, but it works here. You know, like, that matches our energy. You win a big playoff game like that, you're like, we're going to the Waffle House.
Going to the Waffy.
Like,
come on, man.
Unbelievable from Trevor Lawrence in that moment. We still got number one. We got to take a look around the rest of the National Football League as well as we get into the last half hour or so of the program here this morning. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010 XL.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
I'm Logan Cook from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Logan Cook will kick it away, and they're going to throw it to Walker. And it's going to be a first down.
On 1010XL.
Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. On Southside and JTB, for a limited time, Key Buick GMC has marked down select new GMC Sierra 1500 models. Below employee pricing, you pay less than what our employees pay. Plus, at Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us or shop online at keybuickgmc.com. We are professional-grade. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drive time only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pickett here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools has been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Renewal by Anderson is celebrating America's 250th anniversary by giving $250 off every window and door. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. You're getting American craftsmanship and their signature service. This offer ends July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partners of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialist. I'm Robin, the owner. My team provides expert service, done right the first time on all makes and models, plus a nationwide after warranty for total peace of mind. Action Transmission on Merrill Road. Get traction, call Action.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a long list of things you want to get done around the house before football season begins. Do yourself a favor and make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the incredible garage. Closets by Design can help turn any garage into a custom organized space. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or online closetsbydesign.com.
Summer air should feel fresh, not full of dust, allergens, or whatever winter left behind in your vents. Your air ducts, they're the lungs of your home. And if they're dirty, you're breathing it in every day. That's where Zero Res comes in. Hicken here, backed by over thousands of Google reviews and a 4.9 out of 5.0 rating. This month only takes $75 off your air duct cleaning. Cleaner air, better efficiency, a fresher home. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Zero Res.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate King.
The two most important factors behind a great garage floor coating are the preparation and the application.
So we prepare every floor with high-performance diamond grinding pads. But just ugly diamonds, right, Brendan? If we find any nice ones, I could use some crown jewels.
Sorry, Chester. Our special grinding pads use diamonds that are too ugly for jewelry.
But they create the perfect surface to bind with our multi-layer polymer coating for years of durable performance.
You'll have to pick out jewelry on your own time, Your Highness.
The term is Your Majesty, Brendan, but I'll let it go this time.
Perfect preparation?
Check. Expert application?
Check. A gorgeous new floor that sparkles like a diamond in your garage? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Yeah, I think more than anything today, ET, the golden moment is remember what it felt like in 22, right? Like that's kind of been the theme of the show this
22
morning.
was crazy.
Is remembering that feeling. You got you got shades of it last year with the run they went on in the back half of the season.
Yeah.
22 and 25 now are the 2 years that Trevor Lawrence has played well enough to merit an MVP vote, which who knows how many Jaguars players could have potentially merited an MVP vote. Like I can remember the storylines. What was it? It's not that long ago, like 6-7 years ago that Russell Wilson's never gotten an MVP vote. Well, because it used to be you only voted for one guy, right? Like that's the way that it worked forever. Now the ballot is longer. So you get guys like Trevor can get a vote or two and we're aware of it. But even anyone earning an MVP vote in an NFL season, they probably played pretty well, like in that given year. If you're able to do that kind of thing, we'll see if Trevor's able to get beyond that, just earning a vote or two to being an MVP candidate for the football team. And I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before, but I do think the qualifications for being the NFL MVP are pretty simple. Are you the quarterback for one of the 4 best teams in the NFL at the end of the regular season?
Easy.
That's it. Like that's somebody in that position is going to win MVP. Doesn't mean you got to win the Super Bowl to be the MVP, because Stafford didn't win the Super Bowl, but he won the MVP because everyone knew Seattle and the Rams were the 2 best teams in the NFC when he got to the end of the year. Well, the quarterback for one of those teams won the MVP, right? That's generally how that particular award plays out. Before we get to number 1 on our list, let's take a quick look around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
Green Bay and defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt have agreed to terms on a 3-year, $57 million extension, which includes a $20 million signing bonus. Seattle, who had rookies report for their training camp over the weekend, with the vets scheduled to report on Friday, have placed safety Nick Emenwari, corner Tyrone Broden, and running back Kenny McIntosh on their PUP list. They're having waited until training camp has opened to place those players on the PUP list, makes them eligible to return at any time during training camp for the team. And running back Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't played in the NFL since 2021 but is not yet officially retired, was arrested in Ohio on a warrant that was issued in Michigan related to issues over child support payments. His lawyer released a statement essentially saying the child support payments are based on what he was making when he was playing NFL football. You don't make that kind of money anymore. So maybe this needs to get worked out in the court system. I don't know. I do know that he had a warrant out for his arrest. It's been carried out in one state. It's being moved to the other. We'll see how it works out for Le'Veon Bell. I imagine we're done watching Le'Veon Bell play football if he's already doing the boxing, right? Guys who go to another sport, that's generally the end of it, unless you're Michael Jordan, right. Like that kind of thing. It's like, let me try baseball for a couple of years and then come back and just dominate the sport that I dominate when I come back to it. I can remember being out there at the baseball grounds when Mike had showed up with the minor league team. And it was one of those where it's just like, do I get to see him? You know, like I was there with thousands of people just hoping to see Michael Jordan in a baseball uniform. Well, like that was enough just to be around it. He didn't play that day.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Didn't get to see the great Michael Jordan play any kind of baseball here in town. Let's get to the number ones on our list, E.T. Number one for you, my friend.
Well, my number one dates back all the way back to the year 2026. Your Jacksonville Jaguars just clinched the AFC South Championship. And there was a meme going around. Our guy, he was dubbed the name Steezy Trev.
Yeah.
And when it comes to grills are important to my culture. Why? I don't know. They're just cool.
Yeah.
I have one. I boast a grill I wear every day.
Why is Waffle House a big deal in Jacksonville? I don't know.
It is.
You don't have to. Some things just are.
And my grill is unique because I have my initials with 2 diamonds in it, E.T. But this isn't about me and my grill. It's about Steezy and his grill. Let me give you a little quick listen.
Say, Trevor, because it's fun, we appreciate you so much for everything you do. I just want you to know all of Jacksonville behind you. We know it's a meme that's kind of going viral, so we got your own video.
And Trev puts his grill in. And then he grills him. Yes, sir. That's my favorite Trevor moment. Tony, I think it was a missed opportunity with the Jag social team and the schedule release.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job, by the way. The hair thing, it was cool.
Yeah.
However, if they would have had Trevor's grill with each team on each tooth, we would have won.
Oof.
We would have won.
Oof.
I'm telling you. We would have won.
That would be tough.
That would be tough, man.
Yeah. Like those kind of things, the locker room moment right there with the guys hearing about this kind of thing, the Steezy Trev thing, which became a real talking point back half of the season for the team here in 2026. And, you're watching the entire locker room react. And I've talked to Tom McManus and that, we get the opportunity to be around former Jaguars players a lot. Doing what we get to do here at the radio station. You obviously, you're boys with a bunch of guys who played in the league, right? Including your cousin Cliff, which I sent you the text about him being on the World Cup and nobody knowing that.
It's just Marshawn.
Yeah, it's just Marshawn.
I totally had to go back and I was like, look at this. Ain't this about him?
It's like, who's this guy with Marshawn Lynch? Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody, they're like, how did he get to sit next to Marshawn?
Like that kind of thing. But I do think, as a player, that's probably the hardest thing to let go of is that, right? Like, where else are you going to find in your life that?
Not going to find it other than, like, your family, but, like, this core group of men, this brotherhood that you know what I'm saying, you fight with every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
5 or 7 people ain't 50.
Correct.
Right.
It's not 50.
Right? Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but you can't find that anywhere else, which is you play till you can't. Right? And all the guys that have been around it, that's essentially what they're telling you. I played till I couldn't play. The game was done with me. I was never done with the game. Right? Like you can see that energy. It's just you get to that point where your body says, we can't go any further. I've taken you as far as we can go as a team together in this kind of thing. Number one for me, you had mentioned it off the top here, and this is December 2022, week 14 in Nashville. I pick this one as a game more than I do a moment because there is so much about that game that I love. I saw someone put it in as one of their top 5 moments was specifically the stiff arm that Trevor Lawrence gave Dylan Cole, right, in that game, which when the quarterback puts you on the ground, like Trevor Lawrence put Cole on the ground in that moment. But again, talking about vibes and energy, and this is definitely that kind of pick for me. Coach Peterson had shown the team that week all the reasons that the fans and the Jaguars alumni, the players that we get to be around, why the rivalry is as intense for them as it is with the Tennessee Titans. Why is it different with Tennessee than it is with Houston and Indianapolis? And he showed them the history of this is why when you feel the hate that there are fans in this city that they have for the Tennessee Titans and it feels different. than it does with these other spots. This is why. So he showed them this history, the 99, specifically with these are scars that the fans in this city have been carrying around. And they show the team that Trevor pays it off with the win in Tennessee's building as they're continuing that run in the back half of the season, and then pointing up at the scoreboard as there are Titans players that are looking to pick a fight.
Yeah.
And he's just pointing up and he's like, look at the score, boys.
Oh, yeah, that's easy right there.
Right? Like, again, when you're matching the fan base's energy, because every Jaguars fan who's watching the game in that moment is screaming at their TV or in their head, scoreboard. Like when they're sitting there watching their scoreboard, and for Trevor to be the guy that goes, take a look, boys. Right? Matching, again, when you match the energy of the fan base, magic. Right? When you can find a way to do that kind of thing. You don't have a couple weeks later, we all know the video that Leon did for the pregame that week with
that
the
hype video, yeah.
Tata Titans.
Tata Titans.
Right? Like there's a reason that Leon and these guys have that energy for that team. And for you to match it, with the going up there to Nashville and having that kind of moment for Trevor Lawrence, absolutely number one for me. We'll wrap up this edition of Jaguars Today. Do want to take a look at one more story that's out there. Connor Orr at Sports Illustrated put up an article this morning with 14 teams that can actually win the Super Bowl. Yes, your Jacksonville Jaguars are mentioned. We'll get to that before we say goodbye here this morning on this Tuesday edition of Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
It's here, Middleburg. Firehouse Subs is now open at the all-new Clay Town Center. Try the bold new steak and cheese melts, stacked with premium steak, melted cheese, and big flavor in every bite. Firehouse Subs at the Clay Town Center, open now.
Everybody's doing it. ET's doing it. I'm doing it. Our business manager's doing it. I know our listeners are doing it. Listen up. St. Augustine Grass homeowners, topdressing.com season is here. Michelle did it 4 weeks ago, and now she's saying, my grass kicks ass. Her words, not mine. But it's worth it, man. I came back from vacation this summer, and the lawn is looking lush green just like Ireland. Get to topdressing.com today or call 888-850-1850 for your free estimate. Topdressing.com.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn Flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement with a simple click, call, or showroom visit. This is RJ. Make Kuhn Flowers your go-to when you need to send your love.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
When it comes to orthopedic care, experience matters, and teamwork matters even more. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, our fellowship-trained specialists work together to treat a full range of conditions, from knees and shoulders to spine, sports injuries, and joint replacement. You'll be guided by the right specialist for your needs, with coordinated care and personalized treatment plans designed for better outcomes. Smarter care, faster access, trusted expertise. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
The Cash Building Material SEC Football Media Days coverage on 1010XL previews the upcoming SEC football season. Listen for interviews of coaches, players, and analysts as they give insight throughout the day on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Connor Orr over at Sports Illustrated put up an article this morning titled 14 Teams That Can Actually Win the Super Bowl. His previous versions of this have been 12 teams that can actually win the Super Bowl. And so I went back and looked, and he does do a mea culpa at the very beginning of the article for this year. He's like, no, I didn't have Seattle listed among my 12 teams that could win the Super Bowl last year. He said I wasn't on the Seahawks train until the very end of training camp. So he didn't have him in there among the 12 when he was putting together that list in July. But this year he expanded the list to 14 and, you know, grains of sand and all that, however you want to take any of this. You know, it's off-season chatter. These kind of things certainly land firmly in that kind of category. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are mentioned as one of the 14 teams that can actually win a Super Bowl this year, which, yeah, I would say the window is open for the Jaguars. I think next year it's a little complicated because they're not here, right? So what exactly does that look like with them playing home games down in Orlando? It's just a different look to what it's going to be, but a little bit of a write-up about the Jacksonville Jaguars in the article that he put up this morning. The Jags were a 13-win team last season, retained both of its coordinators. That's good. Ahead of its like two distinct possibilities. Jacksonville benefited from a difficult-to-replicate turnover rate last year, which I do think is a real, how do they repeat that? You know, going into this season, and lost a phenomenally impactful linebacker in Devin Lloyd, making the team a major regression candidate. All right. Or Liam Cohen is one of the autonomous bots from the Sean McVay tree who has a second major evolution on tap in his play calling, making the same true of Trevor Lawrence in his play. Of the teams on this list, Jacksonville is one of the few that makes me very suspicious. However, this is an organization that is invested in finding edges. Does that sound like a theme in Jacksonville? The Jaguars' in-game scouting and analytics departments are solid, which can make close games less of a coin flip. Certainly, they are a team that has talked a ton about trying to find their edge, right? Like, that's kind of the theme of the 2026 offseason, getting ready for this run. It's why the conversations about Parker Washington and whether or not he's going to be the full-time return guy for him again this year are interesting because, look, we see what kind of edge Parker Washington gives them as the punt returner for the football team. How willing are you to potentially let go of that edge because you need him more in the offense, and how much are you afraid of exposing him? In the end, I think we talk about that a lot, E.T. I don't think it's going to mean much of anything. Like, I think even Parker having a big role in the offense, if they're going to look at it and say 2 times a game he's returning punts, good. He's the best punt returner we have, maybe the best punt returner in the NFL. Why wouldn't we take advantage of that? Because we want to get him 3 more snaps at wide receiver in the game, we know the kind of impact he has at punt return. Like, for a team that talks about trying to find their edge as much as they do, I think that's likely where that discussion is going to land. But like with all these kind of open questions about how things are going to get divvied up in the wide receiver room, running back room, that kind of thing, who are the 5 starting guys going to be on the offensive line, I think they're open to anybody winning any of these opportunities. And if you win the opportunity, the Jaguars organization seems to be in a healthy enough spot that if you win it, they just will say, go forth and prosper.
Go get it.
Yeah, it's the way that they seem to want to deal with any of those kind of things. But, you know, at least the little write-up of what it means for Jacksonville there. And for the record, the team that he's got on that list right before Jacksonville, I think it's a bit of an alphabetical order situation here, but he's got Houston, and you don't love the first sentence of the write-up when it comes to the Houston Texans. The Texans are my Super Bowl pick. Boo on that entire idea, but I can understand why they only got that defense. If you got that defense, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be picking you to do a whole lot of deep work. I hope their quarterback continues to turn into a pumpkin instead of the princess when everything is said and done there in Houston. But we got time to figure out exactly what that's going to be. Before we say goodbye, let's say hello this morning to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Big Leon Searcy.
Tony, how you doing, sir?
Doing all right. We just
solo today.
Yeah, we were mentioning you a few moments ago. I had the 22 game against the Titans at number 1 on my list for the top 5 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
The first game up there in Nashville because of the Trevor Lawrence pointing to the scoreboard and Trevor Lawrence putting a linebacker into the ground with a stiff arm and the energy, the whole thing going into it with Peterson showing what happened to previous Jaguars teams against that franchise. And I had mentioned without what they did in Nashville, you don't get Leon doing a pregame tape for the home game, Week 18 with the Tata Titans, right? Which is an all-time moment. Like, we don't get that energy without first coming through on the first one of those chapters. If you had to go back, our top 5 this morning is Trevor Lawrence, your 5 favorite moments of Trevor Lawrence here in Jacksonville. It can be on the field, off the field, whatever you want it to be. Does anything jump to mind for you as your favorite moment of Trevor Lawrence at this point in his career?
You know what? I would say the Chargers game. After what he did in the first half, then the comeback to kind of have the second half that he had here at home, how electric that stadium was. I remember how down I was when they were down 28-7. I'm like, oh, my God, are you serious? Is this how they going to perform getting into the playoffs again? And then when that second half, man, it was crazy. I wasn't even at the game. I was hosting a cigar party watching the game, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the energy in the first half comparable to the second half, and the way they came back, man, it was crazy. I love it.
Yeah, it was. We went into the little write-up that Trevor Lawrence did after the Kansas City game and the loss in the divisional round, and him talking about looking up and no one's leaving.
Yeah.
Right, and him talking about the energy the fans provided in the second half, and in my head, I have the entire history of the franchise that I know how rare it is for them to host a playoff game. So I do think part of that is there's a bunch of people in the building that are like, well, we haven't been able to watch one of these in a while. We're sticking around.
Yeah.
There is some of that to it. It's like, I'm not going home. There's nothing else on, right? All right, we'll see what happens. The touchdown late in the half certainly gets
needed it.
Maybe, you get that kind of.
Exactly.
We're only down 20 at halftime.
Kept people in the seats. Kept people in the seats. I agree.
That kind of thing. But there is something about that Jacksonville energy of the, we can, I got plenty of reasons not to believe, but I'll save that for tomorrow. That is kind of the Jacksonville thing. It's like, I can be mad tomorrow.
That's true.
Today, I just want to watch a game.
Exactly.
And then you pay that back with the giving them reason after reason to get back into it full bore.
Absolutely.
And then it turns into what it turns into. What do you got coming up today?
We got Matt Hayes in Tampa Town, and he's got Kirby Smart and Gunnar Stockton prepared for us in the next hour.
Sounds good.
All right.
Not a whole lot of Vandy love, but that's all right.
Well, Vandy is there. We'll see what we do.
We're there.
You are there.
The only 10-win season in program history.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped. I'm not expecting anybody else to be.
You should be.
I'm not expecting anybody else to match my energy for Vanderbilt Commodores football. All right, we'll be listening for the next couple hours, Leon. XL Primetime coming up next. That'll do it for us here on this Tuesday edition of Jaguars Today. ET is here with the show for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Jamal St. Cyr will join me for the show for an on-assignment Mike Dempsey. Thanks again to Jeff Lageman for joining me during the first hour of the program this morning. For Emmanuel Thallerin, I'm Tony Smith. XL Primetime is coming up next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Yo, Jacksonville. It was always the Jags.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal